Right, hello everyone, and welcome back to another Herdwatch webinar. My name is Katie Shanahan. I'm joined by James Greevy, and today we're just going to go through the new feature Pasture by Herdwatch, but we're just going through it to let you all know that it is now available on the Herdwatch Complete plan. So that is available now. So we're just going to go through a few features on it. James will do a demo later, and then I'll answer some of the popular questions we've been getting. And so, as I said, my name is Katie. I'm Content Marketing Executive here in Herdwatch, and I'm joined by James Greevy, who is the Director of Product. So hopefully over the next 30 minutes, I don't want to go on for too long, we're going to go through some of the following. So just a background on Herdwatch, how we got started, the different tools in the Herdwatch app, then focusing on obviously Pasture by Herdwatch, explaining a little bit on the pro account, the benefits of Pasture, which again, James will go through, focus on maps as well, fertiliser records, spray records, soil test results, and then just general tasks or Pasture jobs. So just going back to the start, with the Herdwatch story, we have over 22,000 farmers nationwide and all over the world. Over 2.3 million cattle in the app today. We have over 2.9 million calf births recorded, over 1.7 million sheep on the app, and over 750,000 acres mapped out on the Herdwatch app. So since we were launched in 2014, which is now over 10 years ago, we have helped over 22,000 members with their herd performance and farm compliance. And this year, as a lot of you will know already, we transitioned from Herdwatch to cattle, dairy, sheep, and pasture by Herdwatch. So it's all in the one app now, but just the different tools depending on what you're farming. So the point of this webinar is to just go through what has changed and mostly focusing on the Pasture app. So now on the complete plan, so if you are on a complete plan or higher, you will get the Pasture tool added in for free. So this, at the moment, this is just in relation to cattle or dairy. So if you're in a complete cattle or dairy plan, you will now get Pasture by Herdwatch for free there too. So I am now going to pass you over to James. So James is just going to go through a little bit on the actual demo of the app. So if you have your phones there handy, you can pull them out and go through it as James is going through it. And again, at the end, I will hopefully answer the most popular questions that we get. So I'll hand it over to you there now, James.
Thank you, Katie. Thanks for having me, and welcome everybody. So I'm just going to give you a brief run through of Pasture by Herdwatch. So just a little bit of background. It's actually coming up on, it's over an 18-month project that we've been working on Pasture. So the idea, I suppose, came about when we basically realized that farmers were having the same pressure to record as much detail and as much records for their fields as they are for their animals, for cross compliance, for quality assurance, for NVZs in the UK, and nitrates irrigation over here in Ireland. So what we want to do is give farmers the same way of recording all the most important records as quickly and as easily as possible through their phone as they have through the Herdwatch cattle, dairy, and sheep apps. So I suppose to bring you through the demo, I suppose it starts with the most simplest thing, where essentially we give you the ability to digitally map out your farm. So this is the home page of Pasture. And in order to get here, I just go down here to my apps tab, and I can switch between Pasture, a sheep version of Herdwatch, and a dairy version. And each one of those is designed to match the needs of a dairy, cattle, sheep, or I suppose everyone's both technically a pasture farmer. So I drill in here, and that's my home screen. So what I can do is I can drill into the map, and I suppose the map is the core of Pasture by Herdwatch, in the same way that the animal, my herd or my flock is on cattle and sheep. And what you can immediately see here is I've actually got two numbers here, 27 and 3. So this is our farm at home, and actually probably similar to a lot of farms, it's fragmented. So we have a small land block down here and a larger land block over here. So it just allows you to quickly group and go to whichever version or whichever group of land you want. So if I just tap on this, it brings me into a zoomed in version of our land mapped out. So each field has its own profile, which you create when you're getting started. You can specify the field's name, its area, what its purpose is. And then, similar to the animals, as you start to record events or jobs against it, you can record it in Herdwatch in Pasture. So if I drill in here to this field, you can see this is Flynn's, the top half of it, one of our fields. See the last time there was something recorded against it, the crop, if we have a crop on it, that's just grass, the area in acres, and you can choose your area in acres or hectares, depending on what way you're managing it. It shows me my last nitrogen application and the actual perimeter of the field. So if you're thinking about putting a fence around it, you can quickly see how much fence you actually need. And it gives me a bit more detail of the last fertilizer application. So I can see 88 days ago, I applied 12 units of 12 kilograms of nitrogen to the acre, last phosphorus and potassium. So we went out there just kind of top up, keep grass growing. But I suppose where this is particularly handy is if you're going out fertilizing silage ground and you're trying to remember, has the nitrogen gone out of it, you can quickly go back and see how many days it's spread and then work out if the nitrogen should be gone out of it. But obviously you should always do that in conjunction with a grass test. We also have a view on soil fertility as well. So you can actually get your soil health results up here. So if you're doing soil testing, which most farmers are now, you can get your results uploaded into Herdwatch, and that lets you access them when you need them. Because what happens with a lot of farms, and in a lot of cases we're no different at home, is you do the soil results in winter, you'll get the results back, you'll have a look at them once, and you'll forget about them for a couple of years. What Pasture enables you to do with having your phone all the time. So when you're going to spreading fertilizer, you can make a decision on actually, if I've got a little bit of extra fertilizer left over, am I going down the road to the next field by 10, 10, 20, or am I going to go to the field that needs it most? And so what we're trying to do is bring all that data together so you can actually make sense of that and make sure you make the right decision on the spot. So on my maps then, I can view it in a number of ways. So I can see my general field information here. I can also get a view on soil fertility. So I can see color codes, basically pH, phosphorus, potassium, and a few others. And what we do is we quite simply color code it. So you can see red is low pH. There's not many green here, unfortunately. Yellow, and basically goes up along until you get into a high pH. And it just allows you to visualize, okay, where needs lime, where doesn't. We get the same view on fertilizer applied. It basically uses the color coding way that you can see how many kilograms of nitrogen per hectare each field has gone, so you know what needs to get a top up or what's potentially getting too much. You again get the same view of for P and K. So what we're trying to do is allow you to capture stuff information really easily and then basically visualize it easily. And you can also do a look back on previous years. So you can go back a number of years beforehand and see what you've done in previous years. And then we also have a grass map view. So again, this basically shows you can record your grass measurements through Herdwatch, and I can bring you through a little more detail that in a minute. But then you can see on a map what your covers look like, so you can visually see what fields are high, what are low, where should be grazing next. And I suppose that's basically how you view information. But recording information follows the same principle as all the other Herdwatch products, in that we've got our orange plus button here, and which allows to record stuff, and we've got our quick actions. So if, for example, I want to record a fertilizer application, I press my orange plus button. I've got my little fertilizer application here, my wagtail button on it. Just tap on that. And what I do first of all is I pick my field. So I pick 3 fields and Annie Woods' Hill here. So these are all our random names. I go next, or I can actually pick my map as well. So you can see me on my map. I can see the 2 fields I picked are in white. I pick another field there. I just select that. So now I've got 3 fields selected. I go next. I pick what fertilizer I have left in stock. So I have half a ton or over half a ton of urea left in stock. So we use the same principle for managing fertilizers as you use for managing medicines, where I can record my medicines into stock and then use them. But that's not always possible. So if you don't have actually it recorded in stock, you can go here and it'll show you a list of all fertilizers that are currently available on the market. And it's a fairly exhaustive list. Now, there are occasions where people make up their own blends and we can get them added too. So I can search by a fertilizer that's not in stock. I pick my 18612 there. And I'll just go to a summary here. So I'll say how much I'm spreading. So that's my 18612. I'm spreading it today. Of course, I can backdate it like all of the records if I want to. I can basically apply in 2 ways. So I can say I can pick my application rate. So I can say I'm going out with 50 kilograms per acre, which is the bag to the acre. or I can use different measurements here. So I can go in gallons per acre, kilograms per hectare, tons per acre. There's a load of different ways. Whatever way you're applying fertilizer, you can record it in that way. Or I can say, I'm just going out, I'm going spreading a ton on it, or whatever makes sense for you. So in this case, I'm going to say 50 kilograms per acre of my 18612. I say what application method I use. So I'm just going to use my fertilizer spreader. And then I save that record. So it asks me here, do I want to create a fertilizer purchase for this record? I'm just not going to do it at this time. And you can see then if I click into the sales field here, this can be details of the application. So I can see I spread 9 kilograms of N, 3 of P, and 6 of K. That's 100% available N in the fertilizer. My application rate I went out at. I can see all the details there, total fertilizer used, and the fields that were treated. And the fertilizer is just very, very simple. So you record that as you're hopping into the tractor to go spread. It's done. You're compliant then from an end point of view, and you basically know how much fertilizer you're spreading for field. I suppose if you follow that along, then the next piece is what a lot of farmers are doing or are planning on doing is recording grass measurement. So if I want to record a grass measurement today, go in here, I basically go on my grass measurement. So select my action here and pick the day you're recording. And we actually give it a simple indicator here because a lot of people find actually measuring grass a little bit mystic, myself included. And this is a method that we learned probably 18 months ago, a really simple measure of how to guesstimate how much grass is on the field, whereby each fistful of grass is about 500 kilograms of dry matter. So if you get a fistful of grass, that's 500. The second fist on top is 1,000, and third fist is 1,500. So it gives you a really good indicator of this is what's on the field. And it's a good way of actually getting started and actually getting a number there. So I go in there, I basically pick the field that I want to record first. So we'll say the hill field here. And I basically just enter in some details. So I'd say there's 1,000 on this field. When my last grazing date was, say grazed it off last week. And when you pick in the last grazing date, what it'll actually do is it'll calculate your average daily gains in the growth for your grass since the last recording date. Now in this case, I have no last recording date, so it won't show you there. But the last recording date, the average daily growth tells you how fast your grass is growing. I go next, and I pick my next field. So I can pick from my list, or I pick from my map, whichever makes sense. And then I go put my next cover in. It's 1,200, 300, next. And I just save the record, and that's that information recorded. I suppose why we're really excited about this is because in Ireland, if a farmer is in derogation, and half of our dairy customers are in derogation, you actually have to record 20 grass covers a year, which means you have to go into a separate app, record that, and update it. If you record the grass measurements in Herdwatch, that will go automatically to Pasture base for you, which makes you compliant from a derogation point of view. So you can basically record everything one stop in Herdwatch, and it'll flow to the right locations for you on that side of things. So I'm just going to leave that. So I suppose there's a few other areas that are actually particularly handy. I don't want this to be too much of an exhaustive demo because I'll probably bore the minds of you all. But one thing that is particularly handy is if I want to record a field job. So I can basically record any sort of field job, so fencing, land condition, and like that. And actually in the next version that's coming out in a week's time, which you guys will all have access to, you can actually record points and lines. So I can say I want to record fencing a field here, and I can just go fencing here and then go to my farm map and find what field I'm on. Now, if I'm standing in the field, I can press this button here, which brings me right to my location, right, based on GPS, and select that field and save. But what I can actually do in the next version, I'll be able to, if I want to say I'm planning on going fencing a field, I can actually draw a line around it and say I'm only fencing 3/4 of it. I can draw a line, measure an exact line, or I can measure an area if I want to basically separate it off for another scheme or for an NVZ requirement. You can create areas and buffer zones that you can manage it whatever way you want. So I actually find it particularly handy for if I'm planning to do a bit of fencing. Then you say, okay, well, this field, if I want to fence 3/4 of it, I actually need 700 meters of wire. I need this many stakes, and it just makes the whole thing very, very easy and very simple. And that's what we're trying to do, is basically make recording all farm jobs easy and simple. In the same way, you can actually also record a mark of, say, if there's a stake broken here, or there's actually a water pipe here that I need to repair. You can create marks on the map which basically allows you to come back to it at a later date and fix that job. So that's kind of I suppose, a crash course in Pasture by Herdwatch. I don't know, Katie, is there anything in particular that any listeners want us to cover, or?
Maybe we can go back to some of the questions. You can actually, maybe we'll do the questions while you have the app open
Okay,
there now.
perfect.
It might be the easiest, and you can kind of show it then as you're talking about it. So again, you covered a lot of them, but some of the questions we've been getting in. So can you grass record on the app, and do I still need to upload it to Pasture Base? So I know you covered on this already.
So yes, you can grass record on Herdwatch, and it'll actually, if you there's a little toggle there that if you send to Pasture Base, it will actually automatically send those grass results for you to Pasture Base. Now it's only active on a limited number of farms at the moment. We're just getting the final few, I suppose, polishing that feature off. But we are, my own farm included, we are actually sending grass to Pasture Base, and we're planning to scale up to basically all farms over the next few weeks. So long as we're actually able to get out measure grass and the rain actually stops falling for a change. But we can't control that one.
Okay, moving on. Will the app work for my nitrates?
Yes. So another huge feature that we have coming in the next release, which will be in the start of September, is you'll be able to manage your organic nitrates, which really comes on a stocking level. But it has a huge, particularly in Ireland and in the UK as well, that you have hard limits in terms of how many animals you can stock per acre, per hectare. So we basically have a planner that's coming in that will show you, based on your current stocking rate, will you be below the, say, 170 threshold or 220? You basically pick whatever threshold you want to be in. So if I want to be just below nitrates, just below the 170 kilogram mark, I can pick that, and it'll show me if I'm going to go above it or if I need to sell animals. So it's like a little decision support tool that shows if I sell these bunch of heifers 2 months early, that'll bring me under target. Or if I buy a few more in, I'll still be where I want to be. So it's a decision support tool that lets you stay, whether it's within the underneath 220 in nitrates or just under the band that you want me to stay out of it. So it just lets farmers, I suppose, optimize their stocking levels to fit whatever outcome that they want or need. So we're really excited about that.
Brilliant. Next question. Can I see my animals on the map?
At the moment, you can't see that right now, but we're working hard actually as we speak to basically give you a way of recording, having a visualize your group of animals on the map. So if you have a couple of different blocks of land and you have a bunch of heifers in one out farm, you have cows and calves in another one, and you have sheep in a place, that you'll actually be able to visually see the heifers are in this location, the cows are in this location, and the other animals there, and it'll tell you how many are in that location. So if it's someone coming out checking cattle for you the weekend, or if you work on the farm, you'll know exactly where they are and where to go check them and how many heads should be there. But with that as well, you'll be able to ultimately drag and drop grazing. So say actually field one to field two, and it'll make grazing management super easy.
Yeah, that's good. Can I tell when a field is ready to be mowed?
So one of the things I actually just showed there, I can go back into it. So what a lot of people will do is when they're spreading silage, it's kind of a rule of thumb that generally in the peak of summer, fields use 2 kilograms, 3 units of nitrogen per day. So what it'll do is you can see actually in this field here, I spread this much nitrogen 88 days ago. So what this allow you to do is give indicator, if I spread this much nitrogen, it probably should be gone out. But what I would always recommend is always do a nitrogen test with your most local mills have it. You bring in sample grass and they'll tell you, if the nitrogen has gone out of the grass and if the sugar levels are good. So it's always good practice to try and get the best quality silage. But what this will do is give you a really good indicator on whether it should be gone.
How many days are we talking for it should be gone?
It completely depends on how heavy you go out. I think the rule is 2 kilograms per day. Don't quote me on that because it's been a while since I did ag science.
Very good. Will it work with my soil testing?
Yes. So this is really, really powerful as well. If I go into back to my farm, I can upload my soil test and I can actually view my soil fertility results on a map. and actually quite simply see what's low, good, and high for certain indicators. So what we try to do is simplify the information as much as possible, because on the side of clear results, you get a lot of numbers back there. Sometimes it's hard to know if it's good or bad. So what we do is display, if it's low or it's bad, it's red, and if it's good, it's green. So, and you can basically put it out. Same for pH, P, and K, and those are the ones we really care about. And unfortunately, we don't have very much green in our farm. It's mostly reds and yellows, which is a problem that we need to deal with. But what we're trying to do is just simplify it down as much as possible, so that you can take an action on it.
And then just for more UK based, will it help with NVZ?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's been a big focus for us for Pasture, because of the pressures of basically every farm in Wales going into an NVZ, and half the farms in England are in one. That essentially all the extra requirements you have, you'll be able to record them using Herdwatch. And there's one, I suppose, was basically able to develop a risk map, have that for inspection, record all the necessary records for that. And there's a whole, I suppose anyone that's in it will know there's a whole suite of requirements that you need to adhere to in order to be compliant, and we'll be compliant with all of them, thankfully.
Brilliant. That is the majority of the questions, and definitely the most popular ones. So unless you have anything else, James, we might continue with just final few slides in our presentation. Perfect. So yeah, just to go over again what James was saying, you can map your farm, you can input soil test results and track your NP and K. You can track fertiliser purchases and usage. You can put in your chemical spray records, generate reports, and stay compliant as well for any inspections. Then you can also do your general paddock notes or tasks, as James explained. So again, if you ever want to watch more webinars like this, you can go on to our website, and there up in the top in the members section, you'll have help articles, video tutorials, and certain things there that people forget to actually go on and have a look at. There's rakes of information in there that you can avail of, so make sure you do that. As well as always, you can stay up to date. We have Ag Ventures by Herdwatch and the Agri Pod. So the Ag Ventures is when I head out to different farmers around Ireland and the UK, and we also have some in North America, and just see what we get up to there with those. And similarly on the Agri Pod, I talk to different experts in certain areas from, again, Ireland, the UK, and North America. So they're very interesting. So they're on Spotify, YouTube, our website. So make sure to check out those. Always remember we have the Refer a Friend scheme. So make sure you visit that. You can go onto our website there and find out more about that. But basically you can get €100 or £100 off your renewal if someone you know signs up to Herdwatch and mentions you. So do check out that form, which can be filled out on our website. As always, upcoming show, I suppose the big next one is the ploughing. We will be there. We will be there for the full 3 days. I'm not sure on our exact location, but I do know we're by RTE, somewhere around the middle. So we should be fairly easy to find. Just look out for all the big Herdwatch stand as usual. But we are somewhere around the middle by RTE. So do come check us out there. We'll have plenty sales and things on for the 3 days, as well as goodies hopefully on the day. So if you have any questions as well, if you would like to know more about the pasture features, you can come into the stand. We will have customer service there on the day to answer any questions for existing members, and as well if you just want to come in and see us all and put faces to names, do come in. So that is it. Thank you for joining myself and James. Thanks for the demo.
Thank you, everyone.
So there are some contact numbers there on the right. We have an email as well, but also don't forget to use the message feature and the help feature in the app on the bottom right-hand corner. If you click that, you'll be brought into a message center, and the team get back more or less that day. So do get in touch if you have any issues, if you would like to if you'd like to upgrade to the complete plan to avail of the free Pasture by Herdwatch tool, make sure to get in touch with that. But that is the end of our webinar, guys. I hope you all enjoyed, and I hope everybody learned some more information about the Herdwatch and as well by our Pasture feature. So we will try to do a few more webinars now again, and we kind of went on hiatus over the summer as farmers are busy, silage has to be cut and things like that. So we will make sure to do more and more now in the months ahead. But until then, guys, thanks a million, and thank you, James, and we shall leave it at that.
Thanks, Katie. Bye, everyone.